Good evening and welcome to the March 1, 2023 meeting of the Holland City Council. I'm Mayor Nathan Box and I'm calling this meeting to order. Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Byrd,
Present.
Freeman,
Present.
Peters, Corbin, here. Coronado,
Here.
Arnshorst,
Here.
Hoekstra,
Here.
Raymond, here. Mayor Box,
Present.
we have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. We're going to begin this evening's meeting as we have for many years, first with an opening prayer this evening by Councilmember Coronado, followed immediately by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we would invite you to join us.
If you would bow your heads with me. Dear God, we give us wisdom and discernment and strength. Keep us healthy and safe and reset so that we can guide the city through. Give us the leaders the wisdom of how to stop viruses and stabilize our economy. Give us spiritual leaders discernment how to meet the people's needs so that all feel welcomed and loved. Give us insight of how to continue to follow in your guidance. Thank you for all that you do for us, and help us to always extend an olive branch in our communities to work together for the greater good. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our next items are our consent agenda items. These are items that are considered to be fairly routine. They have been reviewed by council members as part of our meeting packet, and they will be enacted in one motion unless a member of the audience or a member of council asks to have an item removed from the consent agenda and placed in its regular order on the regular agenda. But before I ask that, Kathy, would you please review the consent agenda for us?
4A, absence excused. 4B, approval of minutes, February 15, 2023 regular meeting. 4C, oaths of office. 4D, approve 2 facility encroachment agreements with CSX Transportation, 6th Street Reconstruction Project. 4E, grant water service easement to development at 54 East 8th Street across from City Parking Lot 9D. 4F, December financial reports, accept as information. 4G, declare items as surplus. 4H, neighborhood enterprise zone, set public hearing for March 15, 2023, 780 Columbia Ave.
Great, thank you, Kathy. Is there any member of the audience that would like to have an item removed from the consent agenda and placed in its regular order on the regular agenda? Seeing none, is there any member of council that would like to have an item removed from the consent agenda and placed in its regular order on the regular agenda? Seeing none there either. What is the pleasure of council in regard to the consent agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Moved by Vreeman, is there support?
Support.
Support by Coronado, any discussion? Seeing none, Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Byrd,
Yes.
Freeman,
Yes.
Corbin, yes. Coronado,
Yes.
Arnshorst,
Yes.
Hoekstra,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Mayor Box.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Under the Open Meetings Act of the State of Michigan, in all of our public meetings, both our council meetings and all of our board, committee, and commission meetings, we allow the public the opportunity to communicate to their city leaders. This is one-way communication. It's an opportunity for you to speak about any subject that you would like to, but we don't engage in discussion at this time or don't answer questions at this time, but we may be able to circle back if you've got a specific question that you would like answered perhaps from staff. We do allow you to speak one time during the public comment period and for a maximum of 5 minutes. There are 3 lights on the dais in front of me. There's a green light, a yellow light, and a red light. The green light means you're doing well on time. The yellow light means you have 1 minute left, and the red light means your time has expired, and we are strict about that. When you approach the podium, please state your name and the municipality in which you live. And with that said, is there anyone here who would like to address council at this time? If so, please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
My pleasure. Jim Story, live in the city of Holland, the Allegan County portion. And as chairman of the Board of Commissioners of Allegan County, I'd like to provide a county update for you, Mr. Mayor, and the members of the council. Later this month, about March 13th, 123.net, which is a broadband construction provider, will submit an application for state funding for furnishing service throughout our county to the areas that aren't served. Approximately 12,000 residents, comprising an area of about 36% of the county's landmass. We will be submitting that grant application to the state of Michigan's MyHigh office, which is administering the Robin Fund, which is a fund provided with federal funding of about $250 million. Our application will contain already funding of about $35 million. Half of that is from this county's ARPA funds allocation, representing about 2/3 of our funds from that ARPA fund, and that is matched by funding from 123.net so that we can make sure that north of 90% of our residents, when construction is done, will have access at an affordable price, because part of our contract is holding the access price into a sustainable level. But by the time we're done, north of 90% of our residents will have access to high-speed internet, which of course is, I think many civic leaders recognize, is essential to the growth and sustenance of all of our local units of government and responsibility. Another project that we are undertaking at the same time is the conversion of our county building, which now houses all of our courts plus a number of administrative functions, converting it solely into a courthouse and moving a number of our administrative functions, ironically, closer to the north end of the county at our Dumont Lake complex. Half of our administrative building on the Dumont Lake complex will be vacated in the next few months when our OnPoint, our community mental health agency, moves out into their new quarters, which is a rehabilitated big box store formerly known by the name of Shopco. And in that vein, we will have accomplished a major transformation in the provision of services. We expect that project will get underway. That is the conversion of the county building into solely a courthouse for judges and prosecutors and other solely other court-related functions. That will start later this fall and be completed in time to house our new circuit court judge, our third circuit court judge, which is one of the reasons we are undertaking the project. We needed room for the new judge. We are also active in working with the residents, 300 or so residents of Lake Allegan. As perhaps you may have read, Consumers Energy is reevaluating its ownership and operation of 13 hydroelectric dams throughout the Lower Peninsula. One of those dams is our Calkins Street Bridge Dam, and we are concerned about the future of that dam, not only for the provision of electricity in an environment in which there are declining generators of that sustenance source, but also because of if certain actions are taken and they remove the dam, it would change dramatically the property values of residents who have invested around that. We, of course, are worried about our county, but we're part of a multi-county effort because of the dams up north, which are much larger and have tremendous recreational provisions for people coming into our state. And then finally, we are also working with the new owners of the Palisades plant in Van Buren County, but just very short distance from the county line. They are preparing an application for federal funding to rehabilitate that site into a new generation of nuclear power electricity, nuclear-powered electricity. That application will be going, I'm told, to the federal government sometime this month. The government has previously awarded $2 billion for a similar project.
Mr. Mayor, that is 5 minutes.
in
I'm
San
sorry,
Onofre,
sir, your time
California.
has expired.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We follow those rules strictly.
I
Yes.
understand.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Sure, my name is Doug Zylstra, and I promise you I won't take 5 minutes. So, I also want to say thank you to Councilmember Coronado for coming to our board meeting yesterday. It was a pleasure seeing you. So, I am Doug Zylstra, 152 East 24th Street, Ottawa County Commissioner for the City of Holland. Just want to give you a quick update on our meeting from yesterday. You may have read about it today in the Sentinel. It seems like all of our board meetings are making the Sentinel, sometimes for not always the best reasons, but regardless, we had two items on our agenda yesterday. The first, the board voted to approve Brittany Brown for the consumer sector on the Community Action Agency Advisory Board, beginning immediately and ending December 31, 2023. I was heartened by this action as it was a bit of a roller coaster. Her name had appeared a total of 5 times on various agendas, so it was good to finally have her placed on the CAA board. The second item from yesterday was the board was asked to approve amending the prior board's resolution from 12/13 of 2022, appointing Adeline Hambley as our health officer. The motion passed 6-5. I voted no, as I don't believe there to be any legitimate basis for amending this resolution, which correctly stated our desire to appoint Ms. Hambley as our health officer. Although the motion yesterday was presented merely as a house cleaning issue, I am concerned from post-meeting comments this morning that this was simply a first step in a longer process to sow doubt regarding past board actions or even undo them without warrant. I sincerely hope this is not the case, because if this process is indeed undertaken, I believe it would be a grave mistake that has a very real potential to create deep and long-lasting wounds on our board and in our community. On that relatively somber note, I want to thank you for your time. That is all I have right now. Please reach out dzylstra@myottawa.org with any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Absolutely. My name is Toby Hutchins. My municipality is the city of Fenville. I'm actually Fenville's Board of Education president, and it's nice to be on this side of a meeting. I'm here this evening because I have the privilege of working in the city of Holland for an incredible program called Trio Upward Bound. And we've brought some incredible students with us tonight to share their story in honor of National Trio Day, spreading the word about the TRIO programs that exist. Just for some context, TRIO is a program, or it's actually several programs that are run through the Department of Education by grants. There are programs that work with students that are in high school. They work with students who are interested in careers ranging from anywhere. There are programs that work with students who are specifically interested in math and science. There are programs that are interested in helping adults be successful once they transition into college. There are programs that are there to help veterans be successful in college. There are TRIO programs that are there to help adults maybe go back and get their GED or their high school diploma and then go on to college or get an advanced credential. Our TRIO program is focused primarily on students from Holland High School, West Ottawa High School, and Fenville High School. We serve 92 students, and they stay with us from the transition from 8th grade to 9th grade all the way until they graduate, and then we continue to follow them until they have eventually earned their post-secondary credential, hopefully within 6 years of enrolling. Today, our students had the opportunity, in addition to coming here to speak, some of our students were reading with other Hope College programs, working with middle school and elementary school students called Step Up and CASA, and they also had the opportunity to do some volunteer work at Community Action House as well. So our goal is to just get the message out about TRIO. You're going to hear from their stories, how TRIO has impacted them, as well as some fun facts about TRIO programs as well.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record
What was the second part again?
of the city that you live in?
Oh, okay. My name is Cindy Galilea Vaina Jimenez, and I'm from Holland. And so, to get started, National Trio Day is on February 24th, and this past weekend we celebrated Trio Day by attending the MyCap Leadership Summit. And on February 24th, 1986, a congressional resolution declared that Saturday, February 28, 1986, should be designated as National Trio Day to commemorate the annual achievements of the federal trio programs in communities across the country. And to repeat what I said, my name is Cindy Galilea Vaina Jimenez, and I'm currently a senior at West Ottawa High School. And TRIO has supported me through the past 4 years through many things, including internships and my extracurriculars. I've done internships at Lighthouse Immigrant Advocacy, and also through Future Prep, I did an internship at Hayworth and a t-shirt company. And also, Upper Bound has supported me through extracurriculars, including College Ambassadors, PALS, Student Senate, Student Ambassador, Junior Rotarian, Young Life Boys and Girls Club, and also at my job at Arrandas as a waitress. And a fun TRIO fact is that here at Hope College TRIO Upper Bound, we have a 100% graduation rate from high school and an 85% of Upper Bound seniors entering college in the fall. Okay. Coming from a first-generation immigrant background, I didn't know college was much of an option. It was always a dream, but I didn't know it was possible. Upper Bound has helped me gain connections, experiences, and support that made me into the committed student I am today. It is truly a blessing to be a part of this program and has made a humongous impact on my educational journey as I studied to be an immigration lawyer. I've gotten accepted to all 15 colleges I've applied to through Upper Bound, but I'm leaning towards attending Grand Valley State University. Go Lakers. And yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and the municipality that you live in, please?
Yes. Hi, I'm Dulce Salazar, and I live in Holland. As Cindy was saying, 1986 National Trio Day is celebrated every year since then. Our community has reserved the fourth Saturday in February as National Trio Day, an opportunity to focus the nation's attention on the needs of disadvantaged young people and adults aspiring to improve their lives if they are to become contributing citizens of the country, and to the talent which will be wasted if that investment is not made. I am a junior at West Ottawa High School. I participate in Upward Bound, Young Life, Boys and Girls Club, We Now, Students for Environmental Action. I am executive vice president of our school. I was one of the Holland Youth of the Year candidates, and I am in the International Baccalaureate program at our school. A TRIO fact is that 800,000 of TRIO participants are being served each day. Ways that Upward Bound has impacted my life. Upward Bound has impacted me in many ways, but the most important way Upward Bound has helped me is the transition from middle school to high school, and soon to college. They have taught me that school may be hard, but if we keep asking questions and utilize the opportunities we have been provided with, we can get really far. TRIO Upward Bound will forever be my TRIO family.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and the municipality in which you live?
Hi, my name is Brianna Delgado, and I'm from Fenville. I am currently a junior at Fenville High School, and I've been part of the TRIO Upper Bound program since the summer of 8th grade. I am also part of the varsity volleyball team, and I reopened my school store. I am a Sunday school teacher, and over the summer I work with my dad at a greenhouse. I am currently considering Grand Valley and Western Michigan University, and I'm planning on majoring in pre-med biology. TRIO was launched since 1968 at Hope College, and we are currently one of the oldest programs in the country. UB has helped me make friends and has helped me get help with my studies to one day make someone of myself. I've also made forever memories, and they've also helped with my social skills evolve. I've met many amazing people through this program that I'm forever grateful for. This program has helped me be aware of all these opportunities around me that I plan to take advantage of. UB has given me a sense of voice, and I don't know where I would be without this program. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Yes, my name is Ariel Paz Rodriguez. I live in Holland, Michigan. I'm a junior at West Ottawa. I'm involved in many extracurriculars such as Trio Upward Bound, West Ottawa Equality Now, National Art Honor Society, Students for Environmental Action, the Varsity Cheer Team. I also work with my family at Margarita's Mexican Restaurant, and I'm part of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. A Trio fact is that this summer, our Trio Upward Bound is celebrating 55 years on Hope's campus. Upward Bound has helped me as first generation because it has informed me of the college process, such as scholarships and how to pay for college. Upward Bound has many opportunities that we should take. It has made me into a more disciplined student. With the academic classes that I am taking, I am planning to hopefully major in business, while also pursuing my passion for art, or study to become an architect. Without Upward Bound, I don't know where I would be. Not just academically, but socially as well. Trio Upward Bound is like a family to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Hello, I'm Sergio Garcia Gomez from Holland, and I am freshman from West Ottawa High School. I play 2 instruments in orchestra, and I am a trilingual. I speak Spanish, English, and French. There is 80 trio programs around Michigan. When I was a uprising 9th grader, Trio Upward Bound helped me develop new skills. For now, Trio Upward Bound helped me in homework and prepared me for exams and tests. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record? I have to say it every time, sorry.
Hello, my name is Traylee Delaney. I am a Holland High student, so I live in Holland on the south side. I'm a junior, and next year will be finishing my freshman year at Davenport University. I am a student in the Holland Early College program, and I'm also part of the Student Senate at my school. I've been in Upward Bound for about 3 years now. I joined right after 8th grade. That's something that you have to finish in order to be a part of Trio. Trio helps with a lot of first-generation students, which I am. Neither of my parents went to college, and quite frankly, neither did my grandma, which makes it a lot scary for me to want to go to college. However, being a part of Trio has helped me develop a lot of new skills. And it's also helped me figure out which college I want to go to. I will not be continuing with Davenport University throughout my whole college experience. I do want to go to Ferris State University, which Upward Bound has helped me learn by going on college visits, which they provide quite often. I've been able to develop a lot of new skills, such as public speaking, taking notes, and asking lots of questions. Without these skills, I don't think I'd be here talking to you guys today. I've also learned to be firm and confident in what I want, because it's not exactly what you guys want, it's what I want for myself. I've also learned that I need to check my emails often, because if I don't do that, then I'm gonna miss something important. I've learned that without people there to help support me, I'm probably not gonna get very far on my own. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council? Please come forward. And would you please state your name and municipality for the record?
Hello, my name is Arlette Severino Gomez. I live in Holland, Michigan. I am currently a junior in West Ottawa. I am a part of the school's orchestra and soccer team. Outside of school, I'm also a part of the Future Prep Academy, and I spend my weekends working at Myers. But of course, I'm also a part of Upward Bound. In 2012, Upward Bound participants, almost half of them who joined earned a bachelor's degree within the first 6 years of joining. My experience with Upward Bound has positively impacted my life and educational journey significantly. Upward Bound has provided me with an academic environment filled with tutors and other resources that have helped me excel in school in ways that I would have not been able without. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address council at this time? Seeing none, before I close the public comment period, I've got a couple of comments myself. It can be scary to get up to this podium if you are an adult who has done it many, many times. I think I can confidently say that this council is incredibly impressed with not only the TRIO program, but the students that have just come before us. You were poised, you were eloquent, and you are incredibly impressive in what you're doing. Thank you so much for sharing all that you did with us tonight. We appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to close the public comment period. And unless your advisors tell you, you don't have to stay for the whole meeting if you don't want to. Next item on our agenda, special presentations and recognitions from the mayor or council or the city manager. Do we have representatives from the Holland Running Club here tonight? Please come forward. It's a special night for the city of Holland and for the Holland Running Club, and I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell us what wonderful things have been happening.
That's quite all right. My name is Benjamin Burry. I'm a resident of Park Township, and I am one of the directors for the Holland Running Club. And just to give a little background about the Holland Running Club, we are a 501c3 nonprofit that operates here in the state of Michigan. We have roughly 200 plus members, active members, but we basically represent the entire running community in the city of Holland. And our mission is to promote running in the city and general area. And we have our parent organization is called the Road Runners Club of America, which is what we're going to get into here tonight. One of the things that we were able to do 5 years ago was to get the city of Holland named as a runner-friendly community. And that is for a 5-year stint from 2017 to 2022. So in 2022, it was time to renew, and we were able to successfully renew that stature for the city of Holland once again. So I do have a plaque to present to the city. I want to turn it over here to Lauren to describe a little bit about what's required to become a runner-friendly community and how that whole process went. So please, Lauren.
My name is Lauren. I live in the city of Holland, and first of all, I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Box. You wrote a letter for us of recommendation that we included as part of our application, and it was hugely impactful, so thank you for that. What we did was just renew our application, so they were looking for a focus on ways that Holland has grown or improved for the running community. So a lot of what we included in our application was about like improvements and expansion of the snow melt system, the switch over to the new power plant. I also talked about some of the developments of the Macatawa River Greenway project and the connections that are being made throughout the county. And then focusing also on some of the programs like story walks and things that sort of encourage a healthy lifestyle for people of all ages, not just like our standard running club population. So it wasn't a full application. It was mostly just focusing on how Holland has improved over the last 5 years.
Absolutely wonderful.
And then as this goes on, obviously, we would like to see more improvements continuing on because eventually this will need to get renewed again. And we have ideas on how that might be able to be helped by maybe adding more water fountains throughout town, additional expansion of the snow melt, and things to that nature. And from that perspective, the Holland Running Club would like to reach out to the city and actually be a part of those discussions as to where the city might expand the snow melt. To us, it's essentially a linear park, a giant park that's all, sidewalks everywhere. And we utilize that tremendously. So if we could be of assistance in giving some input as to good areas to expand that, we would be very happy, and tell me who to contact, and I'll be ready to give them a call tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm sure our staff is taking notes right now. We will make sure Mr. Van Dyken on the end of the table there would be happy to talk to you about that. And we love public input, and especially from the people that are using the infrastructure that we put in place. We want to make sure that it's done as best as it possibly can be for you folks. And are you done? Because I've got some wonderful things I want to say about you guys. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to write a letter recommending Holland as a runner-friendly community. To say what I do downtown is running would be awfully generous, but my wife is down there almost every morning running. There are hundreds of people that I see on a weekly basis running throughout the community. There are all kinds of, not only the Holland Running Club, but other groups that are organized or disorganized. Friend groups that are out there running, and I think it's really important for the health of this community that we make sure that this is a community where it's easy for people to exercise, it's fun for people to exercise, and thank you so much, one, for getting people out there and doing that, and two, helping the rest of the world know what a great place Holland, Michigan is. Those of us that live here know that, but not everybody else does, and this really raises the profile for the community, for the city of Holland within the running community.
Yeah, we've actually done a couple of things where we've gotten the snow melt system put into Runner's World magazine, where their video segment on that went viral and had over 1 million hits and things to that nature. So we definitely want to continue to help promote both the city and the sport of running. So that's one thing that we've always been focused on.
Wonderful. Well, I'd love to come out and shake your hands.
I would love that as well. And I can give you the plaque at the same time. Last time I almost walked out with it when I was here 5 years ago.
That's great. Wonderful. Does everybody have a camera? Oh, here we go, Mr. Corbin. Lauren, get in there. Are we good, Scott, or we should get closer?
One moment.
Belinda's already taken like 7 photos, Scott.
I can only suck it in for so long.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's why I'm holding the plaque.
Do you take that with
Okay,
you?
we'll take that.
And,
And this is Mr. Van Beek's card.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. Thank you. Thank you and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
So again, thank you very much, Council and Mayor Box. Have a good evening.
And thank you both again. Have a wonderful night. Next item on our agenda is item number 9, written petitions and communications. In addition to giving the public the opportunity to address us directly here in City Council chambers, we do also want people who may not be able to make it to a meeting to have the opportunity to voice their opinion. So we have a special email address if you'd like to send an email to the City of Holland, to our City Council. That is publiccomment@cityofholland.com. That's public comment, singular, @cityofholland.com. We collect those in between our regular meetings, and then we accept them into the record. We don't read them out loud at the meetings, but council members do read them as part of our packet. And we do not have any this week, but I just want to make that point. Next item on the agenda is item 12E 6.2, approval of the proposal for the sale of 345 Collin Park Drive. Mr. Van Beek.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. I'm going to hand this off in a moment, but you have to listen to me first, to Assistant City Manager Matt Van Dyken, who has taken point on this project along with our Community and Neighborhood Services Department, and support also from legal. But to just give you an idea of how we're arriving at this tonight, which I think sometimes is a good reminder and helpful. This is one item that really is the result of several initiatives that you all as council has assigned to us as staff and identified as a priority in the community. And it started first with a committee. Actually, I think at some point there were two committees that took a look at surplus city property that we had and identified different properties that perhaps could be used for particular purposes. And this is one of those identified properties. We also know that it's been priority of council to focus on all types of housing in the community at various price points, but specifically within that also to take a particular look at affordable housing. You also led and reviewed, and staff brought you through a process where we updated our zoning ordinances, and in fact other ordinances that we refer to now affectionately as our UDO, or our Unified Development Ordinance. And through that process, that definitely impacted and made this particular possibility go forward. We had the South Shore Village sub-area planning process, and you'll recall that this particular parcel was identified in that project both proactively as something that that group and staff talked to, not only from a staff perspective, but obviously through the Planning Commission and you all, but also involved the neighborhood and the community in those conversations. And then a couple months ago, you approved us specifically to craft an RFP, a request for proposals, to take a look at making this particular parcel available. So just wanted to give you that background on the various steps that sometimes we forget about, that different things happen in preparation for arriving at what we think is important night tonight. So with that background, I'm going to hand it off to Matt to tell you more about the RFP and the proposal that we're recommending in front of you.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Good evening, council. So if you look at the screen, you can see the parcel that we've identified that you declared surplus back on, I believe it was December 7th of 2022. The city-owned parcel there is that really, I'll maybe best describe as funky-looking, irregularly shaped piece that goes from about 16th Street up, or excuse me, 17th Street up, and does not include that blue-ish piece in the upper right-hand corner. So that is actually owned by Community Action House, who is a part of this proposal, and one of the groups that, the one group that responded to the RFP. We did go out to RFP. Mark and I worked to go jointly on this. His response was, we had a bunch of tire kickers, but we only received the one RFP response, and that was from Community Action House and Dwelling Place. So they actually responded to us and included a draft or a conceptual site plan to what they would envision doing on their property, the actually already vacated roadway property, and then the remainder of that funky piece of city property. So the action that actually is before you tonight is to direct the city attorney to form, or the requested action, I should say, to draft an option agreement for signature by the mayor and the city clerk to sell that piece of property, to have an 18-month option on the property in the amount of $5,000 to them. That would be contingent on any due diligence the city might have to do. They would have to secure LIHTC funding. We've all been down that road before with developers. We know that that can be quite a process. And then finally, obviously, this is a very much a draft plan. That final plan that they would have to have approved by the state, and then ultimately would have to come back through Planning Commission to be approved by the city for the sale. They have come back and said, you know, they think that this is a important city benefit to have affordable housing. As Keith alluded to earlier, City Council for the last number of years in your now retreat again, have identified affordable housing as a key issue here. So we think that justifies 65% of the appraised cost of the property as the ultimate sale price if they get all of their pieces and parts passed through Michigan through the funding piece. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but that's really the gist kind of what, yep, we do have representatives here. They're not planning on speaking unless you have specific questions to them. But I will say, thanks for the quick reprieve there, Keith, because we do have some details about their plan. It would include 40 to 50 1 to 2 bedroom apartments and 5 3-bedroom townhouses included in that plan. So not an insignificant amount of housing, not an insignificant amount of people that ultimately could be receiving services through Dwelling Place and the Community Action House group.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions from council for staff or for the applicant?
Yes, so this is just for the sale of the property. It's not, the plan will come later before planning commission and all that.
Yeah, so it's a $5,000 cost. So it's not an insignificant amount of money, but it's nowhere near what the appraised value will come at, right?
Sure.
Which isn't huge either. But yes, this is just for the option which they have to secure before they can go back to the state and say, hey, we've got this great project. How about you help us out with that LIHTC funding? So this is just the option portion of it. But really what it does say is that, yeah, should everything be executed based on their conceptual plan and the other items in their report, we're willing to get an independent appraisal. They've actually agreed to let our city appraiser provide that appraisal. My thought is that, to be fair, we should get an independent appraisal of property, and then we can proceed with the sale. Once all those dominoes have fallen, then you actually would approve that. You're approving that sale tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And Scott, go ahead.
So if none of this happens, the property then still is retained by the city of Holland, correct?
Correct.
And what is the term in which we're allowing for that process to take place?
18 months.
18 months, thank you.
Yeah, and just for clarification, the $5,000 is not for the purchase of the property. The $5,000 is essentially for us to keep the property off the market for the next 18 months so that they can go through this process.
Correct. And in their response, which is in your packet, they would like that to go to a credit to that 65% of the sale price, which I think is fair.
Which is often what happens in these.
Correct.
I just want to make sure that the public was aware of the fact that we weren't selling the property for $5,000, that this was one step in the process moving forward that helps keep this moving forward.
No, you're absolutely correct. We've had some discussions with our city attorney and making sure that we have a lot of T's and I's that need to be crossed, and we'll probably have some more over the next 18 months. But yes, we are not selling the property for $5,000. We're selling it an option to the property for $5,000.
Giving them the right to do that work while we hold it off the market, essentially.
Correct.
Yep, the first option to purchase it. All right. Any other questions from council members? Great. What is the pleasure of council in regard to this item?
Move we approve the recommendation.
Moved by Hoekstra. Is there support?
Support.
Support by, I'll give that one to Vreeman tonight. Any discussion? I've just got a couple of comments. Thank you for staff for working on this, and also to Dwelling Place and to Community Action House. As the assistant city manager said, it's an unusually shaped piece of property, but one that I think if this all goes through, and I am hopeful that it would, gives a great opportunity for some more affordable housing in the area. I've had some conversations with Dwelling Place, and they're trying to get as creative as they can to try to make sure that LIHTC funding is able to go through. But also, what a great location. Phenomenal location, great connection to Collin Park, great connection to the water, close to downtown. This is exactly the kind of location that we would love to see this kind of housing happen in the city of Holland. So go out there, Dwelling Place, Community Action House, get the boots on the ground, see if we can get that LIHTC funding, and we'll do what we can on our end to try to make this thing happen as well. With that said, Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Vreeman.
Yes.
Corbin. Yes. Coronado.
Yes.
Arnshorst.
Yes.
Hoekstra.
Yes.
Raymond.
Yes.
Byrd.
Yes.
Mayor Box?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Wonderful, thank you. Next item on the agenda is that item 12E6. Are we still there? It's hard to read that. 12E6.3, Human Resources, reclassification of finance positions. Mr. Van Beek?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We have with us, hiding behind the computer over there, HR Director Jennifer Orm and Finance Director Lynn McCammon. My guess is they'd probably be there for questions if you have them, but would appreciate if I lead into it. But really what you have in front of you is just a reminder, we don't make changes to positions. In the business, we call it position control. Before we make major changes to positions, we come before you and get your approval or not to do that. And this would be one of those triggered positions where we're asking for and recommending, where Lynn has taken a look at a position that through normal process of someone left a position voluntarily, that it kind of creates an opportunity to take a look at her operations. This, as it outlines, kind of switches basically two of those positions, part-time status to full-time status, takes advantage of expertise that we have in a person that we can invest in. And I think it also hints at that Lynn is continuing to take a look at her department, and this may not be the end of maybe some things that she has in mind. But again, what you have in front of you is a switch in some of those position controls. And the nice thing is this actually represents a slight savings to the city budget. If you have more specific questions, that's where I'd ask Lynn and Jennifer to come up, but I'm sure they'd be more than happy to give you any specifics that you'd be looking for.
Great, thank you. Questions from council? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of council in regard to this item?
Move to approve said position.
Moved by Coronado. Is there support?
Support.
Support. Was that AirSource? It was. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, Kathy, would you please call the roll?
Corbin? Yes. Coronado?
Yes.
Arnsource?
Yes.
Hoekstra?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Byrd?
Yes.
Vreeman?
Yes.
Mayor Box?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda, item 13, communications from the city manager. Mr. Van Beek.
It's early, so can I talk for a long time tonight?
As long as you would like every night.
Take your time.
Did you hear all that groaning in the background? Man.
Is it timed? Is this section timed?
Yeah, I've got 5 minutes, right, Belinda? I do have a couple things tonight, but I think we'll get through them quickly unless you have questions on them. First, you will see at all of your spots Mark Cornelis passing on work of the NIC committee, and specifically the group that worked on our Flourishing Neighborhood report, has given you the draft report that has gone through their processes. But it was requested, I think, by Lynn, but when this was completed, we were looking to put this on a study session, and this is going to be on your study session for next week. So it's already will be in electronic form in the packet, but sometimes these longer reports, it's nice to have them, and then since you're here tonight, we're just distributing those. Additionally, next week at study session, and I think we'll probably do the NIC report first, and then we'll do this next thing that I'm going to describe after that, is we're just going to do a series of updates on, I think what we're kind of settling in on is we're calling North Downtown, because there's a lot of things that planning work that has been put into that area, and quite frankly, a lot of things that is about to launch. It is going to be a very busy location this next year. And I'm not going to steal the thunder of next week, but really what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the complete reconstruction of 6th Street from River to Columbia. And Brian White is going to go through, and even though you've approved all of those actions and budgets and everything, think it's helpful to just give you kind of the staging and how that will roll out, so you're aware of that. We also had our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority yesterday approve action on that, which will be fun to talk about because it takes a look at not only a private project that's going in the former 7th Street parking deck plan, that there was an amendment to that, but that also takes a look at the public infrastructure that we're doing along 6th Street. So we'll want to give you an update on that because that's something that will come to you next regular meeting to set a public hearing and then ultimately to consider approval of that recommendation to the amendment of the Brownfield plan that is coming to you from the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. We're also going to talk about kind of when we're digging in 6th Street anyway, that the Holland Board of Public Works will be removing the peaking station that a lot of people go, what is that thing there anyway, right in window on the waterfront, that has reached the end of the useful life. And in the contract overall that the BPW has done to take down the JDY plant, also a subcomponent of that project is that peaker. So we'll give you an update on that next week. And then finally, we'll give you exciting updates as we continue to march forward, as you've asked us to, on the ice skating project. And really, there's kind of two things that are happening there. One, we've got our design and construction team working on getting to construction documents. And quite frankly, sometimes that starts a little bit, bigger and grandiose. And Matt in particular is working on making sure that we keep that in an appropriate cost, maybe bringing it down to a goal. And then we're also going to be able to give you updates on the fundraising that we're doing, which is kind of bringing the tide up this way. So hopefully we'll talk to you about the process and some timelines for you and for the community of when really there's going to be some decisions made later this spring when we put those construction documents out. So look forward to that. That'll be next week. Additionally, you all approved the Waterfront Holland project, and most specifically the ballot question in the first Tuesday in May that talks and asks our citizens to consider the sale of 2 public parcels on Lake Makatawa. I've been invited to give the first kind of public presentation on that, and it really triggered, we had it in our background, that having just, the information only set of frequently asked questions and just a reminder of what this is about and the process that we've gone to this date. We're preparing a PowerPoint deck and other FAQs. Be assured that when we get that finalized, I will also make that available to all of you so that as you're out and about in the community that you're able to answer those different questions. We certainly are beginning to get some, although I wouldn't say a lot of questions on that process. Describing again how this really is what I've described to you as an enabling. It's not the first step in the process because we've been at this Waterfront Holland describing the vision for 5 years now, but that this would be an enabling thing that, similar to how we just talked about with the property and the proposal from Dwelling Place and Community Action House, should we get a positive vote on this, then really it puts the developer in the position, just like any other project in the city, where they still need to do our processes, right? Which means reaching out to the neighborhood and talk about the development that they're looking to do, get feedback from the neighborhood, do all the detailed things like traffic plans and more detailed soil borings, get very specific plans that would then be submitted to the Planning Commission and go through the full Planning Commission process, and then certainly go through City Council for the variety of tax increment and other things that we have there. One question that we're getting a little bit, because the ballot question is really quite simple. Do you authorize the city to sell this property or not? I'm reminding people that the Waterfront Holland process was very clear. You all have been very clear, both people that served on council before and current council. Staff has been very clear, and it's nice in that the one proposal that we got from GDK Construction has also been very receptive, that this, one of the most important things that we heard from the community is that it involves public access to the water. And the term sheet that we outlined, and certainly the concept that GDK turned in, was very clear in that, not in the vote, but eventually, should the vote be approved, that there will be, the specifics that are outlined with that public access that relate to this project, and make sure that that public access is secured moving forward. So again, we're preparing that so that we put out good information to the public. And again, I will make that available to all of you. And if you are hearing other questions out there, send them my way so that we can add it to that list of frequently asked questions. And then finally, hopefully, and I'm going to assume that all of you already are signed up for and automatically receive our citizen newsletter at the beginning of every month when that goes out. But Matt does have pulled up on the screen, so hopefully all of our friends at home that may be watching, fantastic source of information. Our team, and specifically our communications team, does a great job of working with all the city departments and pulling together kind of the latest, greatest of information. And whether that be updates on projects in just written form, or links to surveys on our master plan, or links to videos that we're putting out, I think it's a really good, great communication piece. And we're always looking for ways and encouraging people to use existing ways to get those pieces of information. And as you see right there, there's a way that you can go and sign up here to receive the #myholland.com monthly newsletter. So please go ahead and do that and keep up to date on things that are happening in the city of Holland. And that may have been less than 5 minutes, I'm not sure. But that's all I have tonight. Other than you have the city job fair, which unfortunately was pushed back because of bad weather, but we're swinging at it again. So Thursday, March 9.
Great. Thank you. You just covered one of the two things that I was going to cover, was the job fair. That's all right. Well, Mr. Van Dyken didn't cut you off, so you must not have gone over on your time. The only item I have tonight is I want to remind everyone out there that this weekend is Girlfriends Weekend in downtown Holland, something that my wife has not allowed me to participate in for many years now. But for those of you who have girlfriends, want to get out there with your girlfriends, it's a great opportunity to enjoy our downtown area. And as we have noticed over the years, it is one of the most diverse weekends in the city of Holland, in downtown Holland, over the course of the year. You will see people from all over the community, all over the area, all over the state, and frankly, all over the country descending on downtown Holland for the weekend. It's an absolutely wonderful weekend put on by our downtown group. So get out there and enjoy that with your girlfriends. And that is all that I have. Appointments, motions, communications from council members. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Vreeman. Is there support? Support by Coronado. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.